I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is another request, a paid request, this time from Lawrence. If anyone wants to request pretty much any other type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, random stuff, like pretty much anything, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for, it was a show on Netflix, and it's called Green Eggs and Ham, based on Dr. Seuss's book of the same name, and I went, they made a show of this, and it came out very recently, very recently, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, with Dr. Seuss, like, I did not like the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I much preferred the original cartoon with Boris Karloff and his voice. I didn't care for Jim Carrey's movie. The Cat in the Hat was a sucked a duck in the fucking muck of suck. I hated that movie. But I gotta say, this was pretty damn decent. I thought this was pretty damn decent. And for a number of reasons. Number one, the voice work was pretty good. And I did not realize Michael Douglas is the lead voice in this. And I like Michael Douglas. I'm a fan ever since, the Falling Down, The Game, Disclosure, Romancing the Stone. I'm a big Michael Douglas fan. And it was cool that he was the main voice in the movie. Now you also have Diane Keaton, which was nice to hear her voice. I liked her as an actress. You do have Tracy Morgan, but he's in like a little bit. You have a narrator voiced by T.D. Michael T, which I'm not as big on him after his shitty role in The Predator. Although I like this more than The Predator. I do wish they would have picked someone else as the narrator. And now I'm trying to think who would have worked well as a narrator. Because before I get the story of the film, just how the hell do you turn this into a series? It's about a guy wanting someone to eat green eggs and ham. Well, you have two characters, Guy M.I. and Sam I Am. Guy M.I. is the older, more grumpier, more grouchy sourpuss. He's a failed inventor, and that's voiced by Michael Douglas. On the flip side, the total opposite of him is this new character he meets called Sam I Am, who is peppy and happy and always has a smile on his face and always has a swing in his step. And I forget that actor's name. he was in this film I enjoyed called The Final Girls. He was one of the guys. If you've seen The Final Girls, if you haven't, it's a movie where a person whose mom has passed away, their mom was a star of certain slasher films. So they go to this anniversary where they're showing one of those films, and similar to Last Action Hero, are able to get into the movie, and so they're locked in this 80s slasher flick. And one of the people who played sort of the 80s, hey, how's it going? He's the voice of them. And I will say, he took a little bit of getting used to, I gotta admit. And I have a feeling he could get on some people's nerves. But I will say, I got used to him because I thought they actually did a decent job with his character where they put at least a little bit of emotion, at least a little bit of heart, and maybe even a little twist here or there, which I thought was, again, better than I thought it would be. And the animation in this is fantastic. I mean, it's 2D animation done beautifully. I mean, just the opening credits alone, it's vivid and it's bright, and it feels like the characters of the book brought to life. And then you watch the show, again, this is incredibly excellent animation. So if you're an animated freak and you love visual storytelling, this is easily worth a look based on that. Now, the story, those two characters meet, there's a bit of build up here and there. Very, like I said, very lush animation. Sam I Am, the more peppy guy, he has kidnapped this animal. And because of Dr. Seuss is very creative and these different kinds of animals, like there's a panda, but it's like a dog. I think it's called like a pandog. The main animal is a chick-giraffe. It's like a chicken and a giraffe mix. And this Sam I Am stole him because he wants to set it free. And one thing leads to another. These two join together, and it's a road trip movie. It's a show, but it's a road trip. So you've seen that kind of stuff before. Two total opposites on a road trip. And one, the more grouchy, his shell gets chipped away more and more as the show goes along. Other characters, you have this mom who's a bit of a control freak, and her daughter. They ultimately end up being a portion of the show. And the mother, I think it's voiced by Diane Keaton. I could be wrong, but I swear it was her. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I thought it, again. And her and Michael Douglas' characters start falling for each other. I thought that was kind of sweet. And it does have a decent sense of humor. Where, like they're talking about, the bean counters and the pencil pushers. And when they get there, it's literally bean counters, counting each one. And literal pencil pushers. There's a Shawshank Redemption reference going through the tubes and the rain scene. Like there's a fucking reference to that. There's a point where Michael Douglas's character, he's in the heat and he's having this hallucination that just goes crazy while the song Spirit in the Sky is playing, and like he's imagining the road being very wobbly, and again, very lush, vivid animation, hallucinatory in that scene. But again, Spirit in the Sky, like when I think of Green Eggs and Ham, I never thought I would hear a song like Spirit in the Sky. I don't know, okay, this is not just meant for kids. I actually appreciate that. I really do. The first episode, I may be looking a bit too much into things, but I think there's a Ninja Turtles reference. The reason I say that is one of the first things is his character sneaked into a zoo, taking an animal. You find out that Sam I Am took this animal to free it. But someone goes there to investigate what happened, and there's these things called slapping turtles in the pit. Slapping turtles. And I'm like, there's 4 of them. I'm like, There's 4 turtles, and they're like doing this, ready to beat the shit out of someone. Either that's a big coincidence, not 5, not 2, not 6, not 1, 4. And it's like, again, if that's not a reference to Ninja Turtles, I don't know what is. And there are times where it has some nice camera shots, and you know, throughout the show, there's some interesting. You know, it's actually telling a story with, again, some decent twists and a little bit of decent emotion, which I'll get to in a bit, and more spoilers. But stuff I didn't care. Like I said, Sam I Am, being how peppy he is, and there's a point where he first has green eggs and ham and tries to get Michael Douglas to eat it. And yeah, green eggs and ham. I didn't even do that on purpose. My body literally decided to fuck up what I was saying because my body was disagreeing the whole idea of green eggs and ham. Like, as soon as I said that, as soon as the brain, it went, ugh. Like, my body fucking groaned. My body went this. Green eggs and ham? I say it, my body's like, really? Really? Really, Matt? Yep. I'm not going to eat it. Fucker. Fuck you doing? Relax. But he's trying to offer him. Michael Douglas like, no, I'm not eating that shit. He doesn't say that. It'd be funny if he did. It'd be a different show. I ain't eating that shit. But Sam I Am eating it, and he's like, it's like eating pieces of joy. More joy. I'm like, is he going to have an orgasm like Meg Ryan and When Harry Met Sally? It literally sounds like he's ready to have a fucking orgasm, and someone's going to go, I'll have what he's having. Or, imagine What About Bob? When Bill Murray, only in that movie, I like Bill Murray, so I'm fine with it going, But imagine if you're feeling like Richard Dreyfuss. That's kind of how I felt with Sam I Am, with this character. And again, throughout it, I liked it. I was able to deal with it more and grew to like the character because they actually gave a little bit of story to him. And I appreciate that. And I think they had to do that, otherwise he would be just too much of a character. But I warmed up to him as it went along, to be fair. I warmed up to him. The narrator, whether it's because of Tina Michael Key or the dialogue he's given, I'm not 100% sold. Part of me is like, you don't need a narrator. I don't think you needed a narrator. Because they'll tell stuff that is fucking obvious that you already... thank you, narrator, I can already see. I'm not fucking stupid. Or someone that needed like a more serious voice actor or serious person as a narrator, and then because he says something funny, that makes it even funnier. Like someone who's not a comedian. That, I don't know, I'm trying to think. James Woods is a narrator, that'd be hilarious. He's a good actor. But someone like that, I think that would have made it... It's like the principle of Airplane. Like, at the time, Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor, and Robert Stack, and you have these actors who are... They play the role serious, but then because of what they say, it makes the scenes funnier. I think that approach would have helped here in the narration. Again, the narration just kind of went too goofy at times, or again, just explain what the fuck we already know. So, yeah, the narrator was one of my least... It's one of the things I dislike the most in this. let's see. Oh, other supporting characters I didn't care about. There's these two that are the bad guys, but they're B.A.D. So you know that's going to be meant for something else. One's voiced by Jeffrey Wright, and the other's Jillian Bell. That's the girl who... She has appeared in various movies ever since 22 Jump Street, and I liked her in 22 Jump Street, but it seems like she's kind of playing, if not the same, but a similar character, and she's just kind of getting on my nerves at this point. And it's like one's the more established cop or whatever, and one's the more rookie chipper. I didn't give a shit about those characters. I'm like, you two just get rid of them entirely. Just did not care for them at all. Like, get rid of those characters, get rid of the narrator, or change it up for someone else. And Sam I Am, early on, you toned him down a little bit. He didn't enjoy the grenades at hand, but not to the point he's ready to come in his pants. Or he doesn't have pants, but if he had pants, he'd come in them. Like, relax. Relax. I love pizza, I love Mellow Yellow, but I'm not like, enjoy. Now, getting more into spoilers starting now, but I do recommend it. I do recommend it if you're a fan of animation, just the 2D animation. Because it's rare that you get 2D animation nowadays. It's very rare. And it's nice to see that brought back and done well. And again, I'm a Michael Douglas fan, so it's nice to see him get a, granted it's a voice role, but still a big role. It's nice to see him in. The last time I saw him was Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. But yeah, I'm a Michael Douglas fan. It was nice to see that. As I said, there's some jokes that are... I think there's even a reference to Ned Ryerson and Groundhog Day. Just the same actor, Stephen Tobolowsky, and I swear he's Ned Ryerson from Groundhog Day. So I thought that was fun. But so I recommend the show. It's a fun show. I don't have Netflix, but I had to find some other way to see it. I don't know. Well, it's Netflix, so I'm sure it's not available to buy. Which on a tangent, I think that's a mistake of Netflix. That once in a blue moon they'll let something. Because people tell me, well, they have this and that, but then why do they pick and choose what you can buy and not buy? Like Stranger Things you can buy, but Bright or The Ritual or other movies you can't buy. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, so I don't know if this is available or will be. So, but getting more into spoilers, like Tracy Morgan, he plays a feminist fox who doesn't want to eat the chickens, but is in love with the chicken, and she's like, I don't want your ass. That was different, to say the least. I'm like, feminist, I hope it doesn't go to some SJW bullshit. But I don't think it did. It just, it's there for this different dynamic of a fox and a chicken, but what if the fox was in love with the chicken? I'm like, well, some of us, that's called choking the chicken, but that's not the case in this. When I mentioned that I didn't mind some of the twists, like the twist where Sam I Am is such a peppy guy, and you find out that he's been lying the whole time. He stole the animal because he's going to sell it to our villain, played by Eddie Izzard. I didn't even mention that. Our main villain is Eddie Izzard, or one of our villains. He wants this animal, and so he didn't steal it to set it free. He stole it to sell it to this guy. He's been full of shit the whole time. I didn't see that coming. To be fair, you got me. I did not see that coming. Other stuff. Oh. The reason, they give a reason to why this character's obsessed with grenades and ham. And it's a decent emotional scene where he's an orphan and one of the only memories he has of his mom is she made him this stuff. And so everywhere he goes, he tries this out to see because he remembers the exact taste, how it's exactly, perfectly, the recipe. If he finds that right taste again, maybe that will lead him to finding his mom, because he has no other way to find it, to find her. I'm like, okay, that's actually not too bad. That's not too bad at all. I liked that. Again, just a bit of an emotional push, not just silly for silly sake, for goofy sake. And, the end, Michael Douglas is able to do something, and he's not just a passerby, because being a fan of Michael Douglas, he was the character I liked the most. So, sometimes in this stuff, they'll have, for whatever reason in the writing, be such a banana or a passerby or out of the action. But I thought they did an actual decent job with the ending of this. Doesn't end on a... Well, it ends on a cliffhanger, but the right kind of cliffhanger. This is extra spoilers. It doesn't end on a cliffhanger because it finishes the story. But the cliffhanger in the right way is... Sam I Am finds the recipe, but then it's not his mom. But then, oh yeah, this recipe I got from this, and they look at it and say, oh, we gotta go here. And I think there's gonna be season 2. I'm guessing that's what it is. It'll be the search for this guy's mom. Like, that's the right way to do a cliffhanger. What's the wrong way? You ever seen the TV show Elf? If not, I don't know what... I mean, even if you have, it was an 80s sitcom with an alien from a planet called Melmac, where it's a pretty decent puppet. And an 80s sitcom. The show ended with Elf, our title creature, taken by the alien task force, and you don't know if he's dead or not unless you watch some kind of crappy TV movie called Project Elf. That was like years and years and years later. So, but to me, that's a shitty cliffhanger. And, there's been other TV shows that have done that too. But yeah, I was surprised by this. A lot better than I thought it would be. So, thank you once again for the request, Lawrence. Take care, everyone, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.